The tension in space was thick enough to cut with a knife. Earth's FTL fleet faced off against the massive Galactic Defense Coalition. Fingers hovered over trigger buttons. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Suddenly, a blinding light filled space. When it faded, a massive ship unlike any other appeared between the two fleets. It was the Void Dwellers, the ancient race that had observed the galaxy for eons. A voice echoed in every ship, in every language. Enough. It is time for change. On the bridge of the Star Voyager, Captain Elena Rodriguez gasped. "Are those really the Void Dwellers?" she whispered in awe. The Void Dwellers' ship projected a huge hologram visible to both fleets. It showed scenes from Earth's history, humans overcoming challenges, making peace after wars, reaching for the stars. "The children of Earth have proven themselves worthy," the Void Dwellers announced. "They have achieved in decades what took others millennia. It is time for a new era." In the Galactic Council chambers, delegates watched the scene unfold with a mix of fear and wonder. Ambassador Chen stepped forward, her voice steady. "We are ready to take our place in the galactic community," she said, "not as conquerors, but as partners." General Zork of the Draconians, leader of the coalition against Earth, found himself moved by the Void Dwellers' words and the scenes of human achievement. Slowly, he lowered his claw from the attack button. "Perhaps," he growled, "we have misjudged the humans." Over the next few days, a flurry of negotiations took place. The Void Dwellers mediated, their ancient wisdom guiding the process. Slowly, a new galactic order began to take shape. Earth agreed to share its FTL technology, but under strict controls to prevent its misuse. In return, other species would share their advanced knowledge in medicine, energy, and environmental management. A new galactic senate was formed, with Earth given a seat. The senate would make decisions that affected the whole galaxy, with each species having an equal voice. Ambassador Chen, now appointed as Earth's first galactic senator, addressed the newly formed Senate. "Today, we begin a new chapter in the history of our galaxy," she said. "Together, we will explore the universe, solve its mysteries, and build a better future for all species." The changes rippled across the galaxy. On Earth, cities buzzed with excitement as alien ambassadors arrived to set up embassies. Children in schools now learned about different alien species alongside human history. In the markets of Zorg, humans haggled with tentacled aliens over exotic fruits from a dozen worlds. On the gas giant Nebulos, human scientists worked alongside Nebulan engineers to develop new clean energy technologies. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings led to some tense moments. On the desert world of Arrakis, a human diplomat accidentally insulted the Sand People by refusing a traditional sand bath. And there were those who resisted the changes. Some human groups protested against alien influence, while some alien species still distrusted the quick-rising humans. Yet, for every challenge, there were moments of beautiful cooperation. When a terrible earthquake struck a colony world, ships from a dozen species, including Earth, rushed to help. The sight of humans working alongside aliens to save lives changed many minds. 5 years after the revelation of Earth's FTL fleet, the galaxy was a very different place. Interspecies couples were becoming common. Galactic trade flourished. A joint scientific mission, with members from 20 different species, including humans, set off to explore beyond the galaxy's edge. On the anniversary of First Contact Day, celebrations were held across the galaxy. On Earth, in the newly built Galactic Peace Park, President Carter gave a speech under the stars. 5 years ago, we were alone and afraid, she said, looking up at the sky where alien ships now peacefully shared space with human vessels. Today, we are part of a grand galactic family. We have challenges ahead, yes, but together, there's nothing we can't achieve. As fireworks lit up the night sky, mixing with the ethereal lights of alien celebrations, the people of Earth and their new galactic neighbors looked to the future with hope. The universe was vast, full of wonders and dangers. But now, they would face it together. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The era of galactic cooperation had begun, and the greatest adventure in human history was just getting started. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was in chaos. Delegates from 100 worlds shouted and argued. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Chen of Earth, her face calm despite the storm around her. Order. We must have order. The council leader's voice boomed over the noise. Slowly, the room quieted. A tall, reptilian alien stepped forward. It was General Zork of the Draconians, a warrior race known for their aggression. Humans have upset the balance of power, he hissed. We demand they surrender their FTL technology immediately. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd, but Ambassador Chen stood her ground. We will not give up our right to explore the stars, she said firmly. We come in peace, but we will defend ourselves if threatened. As tensions rose in the council, the effects were felt across the galaxy. On the desert world of Arrakis, the Sand People began stockpiling water, preparing for a possible war. In the nebulous cities of the Cloudkin, debates raged about whether to side with Earth or against it. Back on Earth, military leaders gathered in a secret bunker deep beneath the Pentagon. General Sarah Martinez pointed to a holographic map of the galaxy. We've detected large fleet movements here, and here, she said grimly. Some species are preparing for war. President Samantha Carter rubbed her temples. We never wanted this, she said softly. How do we prevent a galactic conflict? Meanwhile, on the edge of the solar system, Earth's FTL fleet hung in space, a silent guardian against possible threats. Captain Elena Rodriguez paced the bridge of her ship, the Star Voyager. Any updates from Earth? She asked her communications officer. Nothing yet, Captain, the young officer replied. But we're picking up a lot of chatter from alien frequencies. Something big is happening. Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. Multiple FTL signatures detected, shouted the sensor officer. It's a massive fleet. Out of the darkness of space, thousands of alien ships appeared. They represented a coalition of species who feared Earth's new power. At their head was a massive draconian warship. This is General Zork of the Galactic Defense Coalition. A voice crackled over the comms. Surrender your fleet and technology, or face destruction. Captain Rodriguez's heart raced, but her voice was steady as she replied. This is Captain Rodriguez of Earth. We have no hostile intentions. Please, let's talk about this. As the two fleets faced each other, the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. One wrong move could start a war that would engulf countless worlds. Back in the council chambers, Ambassador Chen received news of the standoff. She turned to address the delegates, her voice ringing with passion. Is this what we want? She asked. To let fear drive us to the brink of war. We have a chance to start a new era of cooperation and discovery. Don't throw it away. Her words seemed to strike a chord with some delegates. The representative from Xylox, remembering the recent visit from humans, spoke up. Perhaps we have been too hasty in judging the humans, they said hesitantly. As debates raged in the council and tensions mounted in space, an unexpected voice joined the discussion. The Void Dwellers, an ancient and mysterious race, broke their long silence. Their message was simple but powerful. The children of Earth have earned their place among the stars. Let them be. The words of the Void Dwellers sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Many species, awed by the ancient race's rare intervention, began to reconsider their stance. In the void of space, General Zork's finger hovered over the button that would launch the attack. But doubt had crept into his mind. Were the humans really a threat? Or was this an opportunity for something greater? As the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next, one thing was clear. The next few moments would shape the future of all species for generations to come. The age of Earth's isolation was over. Now it was time to see what role humanity would play in the grand tapestry of galactic civilization. The sleek, silver ship of Earth's FTL fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a flash of blue light. It hung in space above a strange purple planet. This was Tylox, home to one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Inside the ship, Captain Maria Rodriguez took a deep breath. "This is it," she said to her crew. "Humanity's first official contact with an alien world." Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Chen Wei, nodded nervously. "Let's hope they're friendly," he said. As the ship descended through Xylox's atmosphere, they saw great crystal cities stretching across the landscape. Flying vehicles zipped between towering spires that seemed to defy gravity. The human ship landed in a designated area outside the capital city. A crowd of Xyloxians had gathered to watch. They were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin and large, curious eyes. Captain Rodriguez and her team stepped out of the ship. They wore special suits to protect them from the planet's atmosphere. Rodriguez raised her hand in a gesture of peace. "We come from Earth," she said it into a translator device. "We seek friendship and understanding." The crowd of Xyloxians murmured among themselves. Then one stepped forward. It was Zaxtol, the leader of Xylox. "Welcome, Earthlings," Zaxtol said, the words sounding strange through the translation device. "Your arrival was unexpected." As the two groups began to talk, it became clear that there were many misunderstandings to overcome. The Xyloxians were shocked by how quickly humans had developed FTL technology. They had been watching Earth for centuries, considering humans a primitive species. "How did you achieve this so fast?" Zaxtol asked, a mix of curiosity and suspicion in their large eyes. Captain Rodriguez smiled. "We're quick learners," she said, but she could see that her answer didn't satisfy the Xyloxian leader. As the day went on, more challenges arose. The human team struggled with Xylox's higher gravity. The strange food made Lieutenant Chen sick, and there was a tense moment when a human scientist accidentally insulted a Xyloxian by misinterpreting a cultural gesture. But there were moments of connection, too. A young Xyloxian was fascinated by the music on Lieutenant Chen's personal device. A human engineer and a Xyloxian scientist bonded over their shared love of complex mathematics. As night fell on Xylox, casting a strange greenish glow over the landscape, both sides retreated to discuss what they had learned. In the Earth ship, Captain Rodriguez sent a message back to Earth. "First contact made," she reported. "Xyloxians are cautious but not hostile. There's much to learn on both sides." In the Crystal Palace, Zaxtol met with Xylox's council. "These humans are more advanced than we thought," they said. "They could be valuable allies or dangerous enemies." An older council member spoke up. "We should share our concerns with the Galactic Council," they said. "These humans have upset the balance. Who knows what they might do next?" As the humans prepared for sleep in their ship, adjusting to the planet's 30-hour day, they didn't know that their presence was causing a stir far beyond Xylox. Across the galaxy, news of the human visit to Xylox spread rapidly. Some worlds saw it as a sign of hope, a chance for new friendships and alliances. Others saw it as a threat, proof that humans were aggressive expansionists. On a distant space station, representatives from a dozen species met in secret. "We must contain this human problem," said one, its tentacles waving in agitation, "before it's too late." Back on Xylox, unaware of the growing galactic tension, Captain Rodriguez looked out at the alien sky. She saw beauty in its strangeness, hope in its vast expanse. "Tomorrow," she told her crew, "we start building bridges between our worlds." But as the first day of official human-alien contact came to an end, one thing was clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, for better or for worse. The adventure and the challenge had only just begun. As news of the galactic panic spread, Earth was caught in a whirlwind of emotions. The revelation of the secret FTL fleet had divided humanity like never before. In New York City, crowds gathered in Times Square, their eyes fixed on the massive screens overhead. The screens showed images of alien worlds reacting to the news. Some humans cheered, filled with pride at their species' achievement. Others watched in silence, worry etched on their faces. Sarah Thompson, a young office worker, turned to her friend. "Can you believe it? We're not alone anymore," she said, her voice a mix of excitement and fear. Her friend nodded, too stunned to speak. Across the ocean in Lagos, Nigeria, the streets were alive with celebration. People danced and sang, seeing the FTL fleet as a symbol of human potential. "We have claimed our place among the stars," shouted a joyful street vendor, waving a hastily made flag showing Earth surrounded by stars. But not everyone was celebrating. In a small town in the American Midwest, a group of protesters gathered outside the local government building. They held signs that read "Earth First" and "Stay Out of Space." Their leader, an older man with a weathered face, spoke to the crowd. "We should focus on our problems here, not out there," he said, his voice gruff with emotion. In Beijing, the Chinese government called an emergency meeting. Leaders debated how this new technology would shift global power dynamics. "We must ensure we have equal access to this fleet," said one official, her eyes sharp with determination. Meanwhile, in a hidden military base, the pilots of the FTL fleet watched the world's reaction. Captain Elena Rodriguez, one of the first to fly an FTL ship, felt a mix of pride and unease. "We trained for space," she said to her co-pilot, "but not for this kind of attention." Religious leaders around the world scrambled to address their followers. Some saw the discovery of alien life as a challenge to their faith. Others embraced it, seeing the vast galaxy as proof of divine creation. Pope Francis called for calm and understanding, urging humanity to approach our cosmic neighbors with open hearts and minds. In Silicon Valley, tech companies' stocks soared as investors bet on a new space race. Startup founders rushed to pitch galactic expansion strategies to eager venture capitalists. In one crowded coffee shop, a young entrepreneur excitedly explained his idea for Uber, but for interstellar travel. Scientists who weren't part of the secret project felt a mix of awe and frustration. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a renowned astrophysicist, expressed her feelings in a viral social media post. "I've spent my life studying the stars. To know we can now reach them, it's overwhelming. But why all the secrecy? Science thrives on openness, not hidden breakthroughs." Environmental groups saw the FTL fleet as both a threat and an opportunity. "We must not bring our destructive habits to other worlds," warned the leader of Green Earth in a press conference. "But perhaps this technology could help us find solutions to our climate crisis." In the halls of power, world leaders grappled with their new reality. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session to discuss humanity's approach to galactic diplomacy. U.S. President Samantha Carter addressed the nation from the Oval Office. "My fellow Americans, we stand at the dawn of a new era," she said, her voice steady. "We have the power to shape our destiny among the stars. But with great power comes great responsibility." As night fell across the earth, families gathered around dinner tables, in front of televisions, and on social media, all discussing the same thing. Parents struggled to explain the situation to wide-eyed children. Teenagers dreamed of adventure on alien worlds. Elderly people marveled at how much the world had changed in their lifetimes. In orbit above the Earth, astronauts on the International Space Station looked down at their home planet. Commander Jamal Khalid pressed his hand against the window. "It looks so small from up here," he said softly. "But now we know it's part of something so much bigger." As humanity grappled with its new place in the universe, one question echoed around the world: what would happen next? The future was uncertain, filled with both incredible possibilities and unknown dangers. Earth held its breath, waiting to see what the new dawn would bring. The news of humanity's FTL fleet spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within hours of the announcement at the Galactic Council, every sentient being in the Milky Way was talking about it. On the planet Zorg, a world of highly advanced blue-skinned beings, the streets were filled with protesters. They waved signs that read, "Humans go home," and "Protect our galaxy." The Zorgian leaders huddled in their crystal towers, trying to decide how to respond to this new threat. Meanwhile, on the gas giant Nebulos, the floating cities of the cloud-dwelling Nebulans were abuzz with excitement. The Nebulans, known for their love of new technologies, saw humanity's achievement as an opportunity. Their scientists were already drafting proposals for joint research projects with Earth. In the deepest parts of space, the ancient and mysterious void dwellers stirred from their million-year slumber. They had long watched the younger races, never interfering. But now, for the first time in eons, they felt a flicker of concern. Could these humans upset the delicate balance of the galaxy? Back at the Galactic Council headquarters, emergency meetings were being held around the clock. The council leader, its blue skin now pale with stress, addressed a room full of angry delegates. "We must remain calm," it said, its four arms raised for silence. "This situation requires careful thought, not hasty action." But calm was in short supply. The Rigelian ambassador, a small creature with large, glowing eyes, jumped onto the table. "The humans must be stopped," it squeaked. "Their weapons could destroy us all." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room. The leader sighed. It knew that fear was driving these reactions, but fear could lead to dangerous decisions. In another part of the council building, a group of military leaders from various species met in secret. They pored over holographic maps of Earth's solar system, planning for every possible scenario. "We could launch a preemptive strike," suggested a reptilian general, his scales gleaming under the harsh lights. "Take out their fleet before they can use it, and risk starting a war we might not win," countered a gaseous being, its form shimmering with agitation. "We don't know the full extent of their capabilities." As the arguments raged on, spies and scouts were dispatched to Earth. Their mission was to gather more information about this FTL technology and assess the true strength of humanity's fleet. On smaller worlds across the galaxy, panic began to set in. The Florans, a plant-based species, began to rapidly evolve defensive thorns in response to the perceived threat. The silicon-based life forms of Crystalla started to hoard energy, preparing for a potential resource war. Trade routes were disrupted as ships changed course to avoid Earth's solar system. The galactic economy, stable for millennia, began to show signs of strain. In the Andromeda galaxy, news of the human FTL fleet was received with great interest. The Andromedans had long viewed the Milky Way as a potential expansion target. Now, they began to reconsider their plans. These humans could be either a significant obstacle or a powerful ally. Back on Earth, the human leaders watched the galaxy's reaction with a mix of pride and concern. They had expected some fear, but the level of panic surprised them. Ambassador Chen, now a key figure in Earth's new galactic diplomacy efforts, worked tirelessly to calm fears. She sent messages of peace to every world that would listen. "We come as friends," she repeated again and again. "We seek cooperation, not conquest." But her words fell on many deaf ears. Too many species remembered their own violent histories and projected those fears onto humanity. As the galactic day came to a close, tension hung over the Milky Way like a thick fog. The Galactic Council prepared for its next session, where crucial decisions would be made. Would they welcome humanity as equals? Would they try to contain this new power, or would fear drive them to more drastic actions? One thing was certain: the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The humans had changed everything, and there was no going back. 20 years earlier, in a hidden underground facility deep in the Rocky Mountains, a group of Earth's brightest minds gathered. The room was filled with complex machines, glowing screens, and the buzz of excited conversation. Dr. Sarah Chen, a young and brilliant physicist, stood at the center of it all. Her eyes sparkled with determination as she addressed her team. "Today," she said, her voice full of hope, "we start a journey that will change humanity forever." The project was called Starlight, and its goal was simple yet seemingly impossible: to create a faster-than-light drive. For years, the world's governments had secretly pooled their resources for this mission. They knew that humanity's future lay among the stars. Dr. Chen turned to a large whiteboard covered in complex equations. "Our biggest challenge," she explained, "is breaking the light-speed barrier. Einstein said it couldn't be done. We're here to prove him wrong." The team worked tirelessly day and night. They faced failure after failure, but each setback only fueled their determination. Months turned into years, and progress was slow but steady. One day, during a routine test, something unexpected happened. A young engineer named Alex noticed a strange reading on his monitor. "Dr. Chen," he called out, his voice trembling with excitement. "I think you need to see this." The team gathered around Alex's screen. The data showed a tiny particle had briefly moved faster than light. It was just for a fraction of a second, but it was enough. The room erupted in cheers and tears of joy. This breakthrough was just the beginning. The team now had to scale up their discovery, to move from a particle to a spaceship. It was a challenge that would push them to their limits. As the project progressed, security became tighter. The world's governments knew that if alien civilizations discovered their plans, it could spell disaster for Earth. The scientists were cut off from the outside world, working in complete secrecy. Years passed, and the team faced countless obstacles. There were technical challenges, like containing the enormous energy needed for FTL travel. There were also human challenges, as the stress and isolation took their toll on the team. Dr. Chen never lost faith. "Remember why we're here," she often told her team during tough times. "We're not just building a ship. We're building humanity's future." Finally, after 15 years of hard work, they were ready for their first full-scale test. In a remote desert, hidden from prying eyes, stood humanity's first FTL ship. It was sleek and silver, unlike any spacecraft ever built on Earth. The test pilots, John and Maria, climbed into the ship with a mix of fear and excitement. Dr. Chen's voice came through their headsets. "Good luck," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "You're about to make history." The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. The ship's engines hummed to life, glowing with strange blue energy. 3, 2, 1. There was a flash of light, and the ship vanished. For a moment, there was silence in the control room. Then, a cheer erupted as data streamed in. The ship had done it. It had traveled to Mars and back in less than a second. Over the next 5 years, the project expanded rapidly. More ships were built in secret facilities around the world. A select group of pilots were trained, sworn to absolute secrecy. As Earth's FTL fleet grew, so did the debate about how to use it. Some wanted to reveal the technology to the world and start a new age of space exploration. Others feared the reaction of alien civilizations and wanted to keep it secret. In the end, a decision was made. Humanity would reveal its achievement to the galaxy, but only after building a fleet strong enough to defend Earth if needed. 20 years after that first meeting in the Rocky Mountains, Ambassador Chen, Dr. Chen's younger sister, stood before the Galactic Council, ready to change the course of human history forever. As she prepared to make the announcement, she thought of her sister and the countless others who had worked in secret for so long. Their sacrifice had brought humanity to this moment. The stars were now within reach, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with the usual chatter of 1,000 alien species. Delegates from across the Milky Way gathered for their annual meeting. The air was filled with a mix of strange smells and the soft hum of universal translators. At the center of the hall stood a massive holographic display. It showed the current state of the galaxy. Hundreds of civilizations were marked on it, each with their own level of technology. Earth's marker was small and unremarkable, sitting in a quiet corner of one spiral arm. The council leader, a tall, blue-skinned being with 4 arms, called the meeting to order. "Esteemed delegates," it said, its voice booming through the hall, "we gather once again to discuss the state of our galaxy." As the leader spoke, A small commotion began near the back of the hall. The Earth delegation, usually quiet and ignored, was pushing its way forward. Other delegates looked on with mild curiosity. The leader noticed the disturbance. "Ah, the humans wish to speak," it said, a hint of amusement in its voice. "Very well. Earth delegate, you have the floor." A woman stepped forward. She was short compared to most aliens, but her eyes burned with an intense fire. "Thank you, Council Leader," she said, her voice strong and clear. "I am Ambassador Chen of Earth. We have an announcement that will change everything." A murmur ran through the crowd. What could these primitive humans possibly say that would matter? Chen took a deep breath. For the past 50 years, Earth has been secretly developing faster than light technology. Today, we reveal that we have succeeded. We now possess a fleet of FTL-capable ships. The hall erupted into chaos. Delegates jumped to their feet, shouting in 100 different languages. The leader's eyes widened in shock. "Impossible," shouted a reptilian delegate. "Humans are barely spacefaring." "It's a trick," yelled another. Chen raised her hand, and a hologram appeared above her. It showed sleek, silver ships moving faster than light, leaving streaks of blue energy behind them. The footage was clear and undeniable. The leader struggled to regain control. "Order! Order in the council!" it shouted, its voice shaking slightly. When the noise died down, it turned to Chen. "Ambassador, if this is true, it changes the balance of power in the galaxy. Why reveal this now?" Chen's face was calm, but her eyes glinted with pride. "We believe it's time for humanity to take its place among the stars. We're ready to join the galactic community as equals." A tall insectoid being chittered loudly. "This is a threat to us all. Humans are violent and unpredictable. They cannot be trusted with such power." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. The leader held up its hands for silence. "Ambassador Chen, surely you understand our concerns. Your species has a history of conflict. How can we be sure you won't use this technology for war?" Chen nodded, understanding the fear in the room. "We come in peace," she said. "We want to explore, to learn, to trade. We're not here to conquer." But her words did little to calm the panic. Delegates huddled in groups, whispering frantically. Some were already sending urgent messages back to their homeworlds. The leader's mind raced. This changed everything. Humans, a species they had dismissed as primitive, now held one of the most advanced technologies in the galaxy. The balance of power had shifted in an instant. "We will need to discuss this further," the leader announced. "This meeting is adjourned. We will reconvene in one galactic standard day to address this development." As the delegates filed out, the air was thick with tension. Fear, excitement, and uncertainty swirled together. The galaxy as they knew it had changed forever. Chen watched them go, a small smile on her face. Humanity's moment had finally come. The stars were now within reach, and nothing would ever be the same.